What's up everybody, and welcome back to God's Green Earth. There is none good but one, and that is God. I lived in San Francisco for 6 months and I really loved exploring this city. So today I want to share with you my San Francisco Top 20. Let's start this video out at one of the most iconic bridges in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge. I've seen this bridge so many times and it just never gets old. It's such a beautiful bridge that you can't help but to marvel at every time you see it. Over 10 million people visit this bridge every year, which just shows you how wildly popular it is. Now the bridge was completed in 1937 and it has a length of 1.7 miles. And if you want, you can walk the entire length of the bridge. It's actually so cool to be on the bridge as the cars zip by and you can get some of the absolute best views of the city skyline from the bridge. A fun fact is that the bridge was used for bungee jumping until it was banned in 1989 due to safety concerns. It also has its own team of dedicated painters that help maintain the color of the bridge year-round, and the official color of the bridge is called International Orange. A perfect spot to get a picture of the bridge is at Battery Spencer Viewpoint, which will set you up for the popular Instagram photo you may have seen all over Instagram regarding San Francisco. Now my favorite time to see the bridge is at sunset from Baker Beach. It is absolutely stunning at this time. A friend I met took me at sunset and I shot one of my favorite videos to this day there. It's just such a cool video. Here's some of it. Now after the Golden Gate Bridge, we're going to head to my favorite park in all of San Francisco, Salesforce Park. Now Salesforce Park is this huge floating park located downtown in the heart of the city. What stood out to me the most was that it was suspended in the sky and it just looks so cool. It is surrounded by skyscrapers, which gives it this feeling of being at an oasis in a concrete jungle. Once you make your way up to the top, you are greeted with beautiful plants and trees. It feels so refreshing to be up here. There is a track which circles around the entire park, which you can walk on or jog on. There are also many open spaces where you can do yoga, exercise, and even work, as the entire park has Wi-Fi all throughout it. I just love Salesforce Park. Definitely check it out while you're in San Francisco. Now let's head over to the coolest looking building in the city, the Palace of Fine Arts. When I first stepped in this place, I felt like I had traveled back to ancient Rome. The beautiful architecture, paired with the columns and the rotunda in the center, had me speaking Latin with great fluency. Well, not really, but this is such a beautiful place, you can't help but linger here for a while. Now the palace was completed in 1915 and was built for a world fair that was for celebrating the completion of the Panama Canal. The building was modeled after a structure in Rome that still exists today. Now I just love walking around the garden area. It's just so pretty, especially with the lagoon that surrounds it. Since it's such a beautiful place, you'll see plenty of people getting photos taken there, and when the weather is warm, you'll see people performing there too. After the palace, we're going to head to the infamous Alcatraz Island. Now Alcatraz needs no introduction, as it is known worldwide as a prison that you didn't want to go to back in the day. Now I took a ferry ride out to Alcatraz Island, and while I was on the ferry, a tour guide was telling everyone about the chilling history of the place. And all I can say is that you definitely don't want to get in there and get locked up. A cool thing about the island is that you can see it clearly from nearly anywhere in San Francisco. It clearly gives the illusion that it's close to the shore, possibly giving you the false hope that if you were to escape, you could somehow swim to the shore. After escaping from Alcatraz, we're going to head to the San Francisco City Hall. Now City Hall has the most beautiful interior of any building I know in San Francisco. I mean, as soon as you walk in, you feel like you're going to run into a king. It's so majestic and pretty inside that you can't help but feel like you're walking towards a king's throne. While I was there, I saw so many people taking wedding photos there. It is so beautiful. I mean, it's very gorgeous. And I told everyone that I met in San Francisco to make some time to go and see City Hall. Now let's head over to see San Francisco's own ancient ruins, Sutro Baths. While it isn't very ancient, it sure does look as if it were from year 1000 AD. Now the baths were a large swimming pool spanning 3 acres that was later turned into an ice skating rink. In 1966, a great fire destroyed the baths, and the ruins are what's left today. Now you're free to go down and explore the ruins as you see fit. To the right of the ruins is this really cool cave. Also, you can scale to the top of the cliff located at the ruins until you reach the overlook at the top that gives you this panoramic view of all of the ruins. Now, after the ruins, we're going to visit quite possibly the most beautiful street in all of the United States, Lombard Street. Before I saw Lombard Street for the first time, I wasn't expecting it to be so beautiful. It totally blew me away when I first saw it. The houses on both sides, along with the trees and the flowers, make this place so picturesque. You'll see many people taking their photos there as cars slowly drive down the curvy road. I felt like I was in a movie scene there. I also drove down the road myself using a scan and go electric scooter, and it just felt so cool. This place had me turning into a 5-year-old. Good vibes here indeed. Now, San Francisco is the most walkable city in the US, and I want to show you my favorite places to walk at here. Let's start off with the Lion Street Steps. These steps are incredible. The houses in this area are absolutely gorgeous. You can even see the beautiful house that starred in the movie The Princess Diaries. Now, the next place to go walking at is Russian Hill. It's this incredibly beautiful neighborhood that contains one of the smallest parks I've ever seen in the city. You can get some epic views of all of San Francisco while looking out from that small park. Now, the last neighborhood that I really loved was found at Laguna Honda Boulevard. I was so impressed by how beautiful the houses were there that I decided to stand in the second smallest park that I know and flew my drone from there, as the streets and the houses that dot them are just too awesome to pass up. I passed through this neighborhood by chance as I was on my way to see this huge cross that sits in a forest nearby. After checking out those beautiful neighborhoods, it's now time to see the oldest Chinatown in the United States. I have a strong affection for Chinatown because I used to live in China myself, and this area brings back so many great memories. First, let's go to Portsmouth Square, and you'll see just how the Chinese people act in China, and I must say that everything the older Chinese people do in China, they do here. Also, check out the Fortune Cookie Factory, which has been making handmade fortune cookies since 1962. You can also see the house Bruce Lee grew up in, and also the restaurant he worked at is right across from his house. Now, if you want the best and cheapest souvenirs in all of San Francisco, definitely take a stroll down Grant Avenue in Chinatown and you'll get the best deals ever. Now, if you want the absolute best 360 panoramic view of the entire city of San Francisco, then you want to go to Bernal Heights Park. There are many high viewpoints in San Francisco, but this one wins it for me. The view is hands down the best. There's a small cliff jutting out from the grass that if you angle your camera just right, it'll look like you're standing on top of a high mountain overlooking the city. There's also a swing nearby on top of the park that you can swing really high on also as you look out at the city. Now we're going to head over to Alamo Square to see the iconic Painted Ladies. These houses are the most photographed houses in all of San Francisco. They're lined up neatly in a row, and you can definitely get some nice pictures if you line your camera up right. You can also take a tour of the inside of the Blue House every day in the afternoon. Now let's take a short trip across the Golden Gate Bridge to the seaside city of Sausalito. Sausalito is this quiet town that is a joy to walk through when you want to escape the hustle and bustle of San Francisco. And if you start to miss San Francisco, you can still see it from Sausalito. Just look at that. Isn't that the best view ever? Now, the city is very small, so a day trip from San Francisco is perfect to give you enough time to soak in the peace and quiet of the European-like seaside city. Now, if you're looking for even more peace and quiet in nature, then about 10 miles away from San Francisco lies the Muir Woods. It's a forest that has the super tall redwood trees, and it is another wonderful getaway from San Francisco. I spent nearly 2 hours in the woods marveling at just how big the trees are there. Muir Woods is truly a perfect day trip from San Francisco. After Muir Woods, we're going to return to San Francisco and head to two gardens which are located in Golden Gate Park, and the first garden is the Japanese garden. While it isn't big, I absolutely love this garden and spent almost 3 hours in it walking around and filming so much video that I didn't know what to do with it because it's just so tranquil and peaceful there. I love the plants and the trees there, along with the Japanese gate and the pagoda, but the most standout thing to me was this extremely arched bridge that everyone wanted to stand on. It's so beautiful in the garden. I highly recommend that you go and walk in it. Now, right across from this garden is the San Francisco Botanical Garden. Now, I visited this garden on Valentine's Day. by myself, so I didn't have to see all of the lovebirds enjoying their lives. No, but seriously, this garden is absolutely incredible. Because I went early, I had most of the garden to myself. I strolled along the garden slowly, just gazing at all the beautiful flowers there. It is a big park. I spent around 3 hours in it. My favorite part of the garden was this pond area where geese and ducks were at, along with painters standing there with their canvases, drawing out their own renditions of the scenery. Now, San Francisco has no shortage of some of the best museums in the country, such as the San Francisco Modern Museum of Art and the Academy of Sciences. But my absolute favorite museum is the Legion of Honor. Modeled after a similar museum in France, the Legion of Honor is the most aesthetically pleasing place in the city. The outside of the museum is so beautiful, and the walk through the courtyard to the museum entrance is just breathtaking. The exhibits inside were just so beautiful and pristine. They were wonderfully presented, and it felt nearly perfect as every single area in the museum sucked me in on account of how beautiful everything was. Now, if you come to San Francisco with friends and you want to just chill and you're really into people watching, then make sure you head to the oh-so-famous Dolores Park. It is a very popular hangout park for young people, and I can see why. It sits on this hill, and it gives you some of the best views of the city. The grass is green, beckoning you to have a picnic. There's a play area for kids, and happy dogs are everywhere playing around in the park. Now, the last place that we're going to visit is downtown San Francisco. When people would ask me what to do in downtown, I would just say, walk with your eyes open and you'll see everything. The tall financial buildings with beautiful designs will have you pulling out your camera every step of the way. Two of my favorite buildings are the Transamerica Tower, which looks like a tall pyramid. The next building is the Muir Tower, which is this curving, twisting apartment complex that has a 3D look to it because of its design. Every time I pass by it, I can't help but to stop and stare. While you're downtown, make sure you hop on one of the famous cable cars and ride through downtown. It is fun and truly only an experience you can have in San Francisco. Well, that does it for my top 20 places to visit in San Francisco. I really enjoyed my time here in this city, and I hope you enjoy your travels here too. Well, until the next video, guys, God is awesome, and I'll see you next time.